It's time to take root cuttings of oriental poppy using a rooting hormone solution experiment of sorts. I'm using a rooting hormone powder that is 0.8% idle 3-butyric acid, which is way too high to take to put on a soft cutting. You want to use a higher percentage like 0.8 for hardwood cuttings and not softwood cuttings, and definitely not on these root cuttings, which is why I'm choosing to try and dilute it using isopropyl alcohol and water. The reason I'm using both is that there are several forms of IBA, which is the actual hormone itself. There's some which are dissolvable in alcohol and others that are dissolvable in water. I'm hoping that by using both, whatever my powder is made of, I will get a solution of IBA at a lower concentration. It's important to note that I'm not following a set ratio. However, it is possible to control the percent IBA of your solution. I really couldn't do it without a scale to calculate molar values and other things, but I just ended up going with what I felt was good enough. You can look up how to create a solution for different things on the internet if you really wanted to. After shaking it up, I noticed that some of the powder would settle to the bottom of the container and wasn't fully dissolved. I'm assuming that that's part of the 99% other ingredients that are in rooting hormone powder other than the idle 3-butyric acid. I'm not too worried about it. I pour it out in a dish and start the next process, which is taking the actual cuttings. I started off by preparing 2 pots with soil that I'm going to be placing the actual cuttings in. I got a sharp knife to take the cuttings with, making sure that it was clean and disinfected. You want to take cuttings that are about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. You really don't want to go any smaller than that, as your cuttings are less likely to take off. What I'm doing wrong here is that I'm taking the cutting and just dipping it in the solution. You really want to let the cutting sit for 10 to 15 seconds or longer so that the IBA can actually soak into the tissue a little. That will just help to increase the effectiveness of the rooting hormone. One thing you have to keep track of is the orientation of the cutting. The bottom of the cutting has to stay the bottom and the top, because that's where the shoots are going to be coming from when your cutting starts to root out and develop. If you're taking root cuttings of something with long tuberous roots that grow horizontal, you'd want to plant those root cuttings horizontally, as that's the natural position of the roots and where it's most likely to develop shoots. I'm just working my way along the edge, making sure to place them a decent amount apart and not overcrowd the pot. And maintaining the orientation of each of the cuttings. Fast forward 40 days and as you can see, the cuttings have started to develop some shoots, which is maybe an indicator that they're ready to pot on. After inverting the pot, you can see all of the roots that have developed. And I'm ready to pot these cuttings on in their own individual pots before the roots start to take over too much and make things too difficult. The cultivar of this oriental poppy is Beauty of Livermore, and as you saw in the intro, it's a really deep red maroon color, one of my favorite flowers. After being careful to tease out each individual cutting, trying not to disturb the roots too much, I placed a small amount of soil in each container and nestled the cuttings in, trying not to compact the soil too much. I noticed that pretty much all of the cuttings took and have at least a small amount of root, if not a substantial amount of root developed, which is surprising. I didn't expect such a high success rate. It's really amazing how easy it is to multiply plants rather quickly. As you can see, all these individual pots will hopefully develop into mature plants. And I hope you found the information in this video helpful to you so that you can do the same thing and enjoy more flowers, more color, and more beautiful things in your garden. If you like this video, please like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm out. It's the first week in January, and I have some hibiscus seedlings that are ready to be potted on. The roots are touching the bottom, and they've started to develop their mature leaves, which is a sign that they're ready to be put in their own. They see me in the window right now, but they are normally constantly quacking. This video will show you how to use some really inexpensive pulleys that you can make yourself out of wood and use them to hang your grow light and be able to adjust your grow light at any height that you want.